Okay. So here's, so let's say if I didn't want to play it live through the GoToWebinar, so that way Lisa doesn't have to log in and play. If I wanted to just send them to a web page, I would send them to a web page, and when I send them to this web page here, as you see, there's no play button, and I actually paused this so that way you can see the play button here. But if they had loaded this web page up by themselves, okay, the web page will play automatically, okay, and and there's no play button here. They can, however, click on that and pause I'm not going to play that. They can click on that and pause it. So, so I guess technically they can pause it, and it might not seem to them as much that it's live. The benefit to doing it this way is that you don't need another person to do this. Okay, you don't need somebody to log into GoToWebinar and play it. So that's one benefit. The second benefit is that the audience, who are listening to this, they don't have to call into a phone to be able to hear the audio. They can watch the video and the audio all on one web page. And so, you would make this web page, and you would have your programmer do this for you. But have the web page to where before the webinar starts, it will say please wait, please return at this time to see the webinar. Or please refresh. So it has like a countdown of what time they need to refresh to see this page. And so when they come here, then they'll be able to do this. Now, if you don't understand what I'm saying, I mean, just whenever you get here, just get a web guy to just tell him what you want to do. You want to display this page at a certain time. That's probably all you have to tell him. Then he'll figure it out for you. And so, yeah, I mean, just the advantage here is that there's no control here for them to do anything with. The disadvantage, however, is it's easy for them to figure out that this is not a live webinar, that this was pre-recorded, because they can press refresh, they can come in late, and the webinar starts from the beginning. Okay, so it's easy for them to figure that out. That's number one. Number two, if you have a lot of people watching this video at the same time, it's very easy for your site to crash. It won't support that many people watching it. And so if it crashes and your people can't watch the webinar, then they'll miss it. And they'll have to press refresh if they want to try it again, but a lot of them don't even know that they can press refresh to try it again. And so they might just close it out and leave. Versus on the GoToWebinar, is that we have control of what we're going to display, when we're going to display it. So we have a lot more control. And so that's the benefit to doing the GoToWebinar, and that's why we do it. Use a GoToWebinar. It's just a lot safer, even though it does require a person to be there to play it. It's just so much safer. And so for smaller webinars, you might want to just try this if you're not going to have a lot of people on the call, so that way you don't have to waste your time or your staff's time to actually have somebody there live to play that page. Okay. All right. So that's that. Oh, and for storage, if you're going to store your videos, you should sign up for Amazon AWS. That's called Amazon Web Services. S3 is storage service. Okay. Now, if you don't have a tech person, then don't worry about that, because chances are you won't know how to use that. Okay. it's not friendly user. You definitely need a tech guy, a programmer, to help you use that. So if you don't have a tech guy, then just upload it to your own server for now. But if you're going to if you're going to play a webinar, replay a webinar like this one here, where you're going to have a lot of people hitting it, then you really should be using the Amazon Web Service and not your own server, because your own server might not have enough bandwidth to support 200, 300, 500 people trying to access that video at the same time. All right. Let me see here. That's pretty much conclude the software part of our of the webinar. I guess that concludes both the hardware and software. Next, we're going to talk about virtual assistants. A lot of you guys have been wanting to ask me that question. How do I find these virtual assistants? Or how do you even find a normal assistant like Lisa, right? How do you find a super assistant like Lisa to do this for you? And ask around. Ask around. When Lisa first started with us, she didn't know how to use any of these software that we talked about today. And even the hardware that we're using now, she didn't know how to use those either. She just learned it, Some of the stuff I taught her how to do it. Some of the stuff she learned it on her own. And so find someone who's smart that can learn it on their own, makes your life easier, and have them on your team to do it for you. So you don't have to be the one that's doing this. So that way you can concentrate on your presentation and make a shitload of money from your presentation. All right. Okay. Now, so let's talk about virtual assistants. Lisa wouldn't be, Lisa is not exactly a virtual assistant. She's here in the office. She's in my office in a physical location. And so she would be what you would call a normal assistant. A virtual assistant is someone who works outside of your office or your home office. In our case, most of the virtual assistants that we hire are in another country. They could be in India. They could be in our last hire one in what was that country? In Israel. And most of our virtual assistants are in the Philippines. So so that's what we're talking about as virtual assistants. People who work outside of your office, and in most of the time it's offshore somewhere. You can hire these virtual assistants on a project base. Like if you need to do a transcription, if you need to transcribe a call, you can hire them to. You can even find virtual assistants to record your webinar if you wanted to. Okay, you can go on websites like Elance and post one of those, get some bids, or Craigslist or Rent-A-Coda. These are just a few websites. Another one too, workaholics4hire.com. Here's one that concentrate a lot on internet marketing type stuff. So you can definitely go there as well. And so you can get these virtual assistants to bid on project per project basis for anything that you do. You're writing your ebooks, creating this PowerPoint presentation if you wanted to. Like I said, do the webinar recording, do the playback of the webinar recording, and you can hire one to do all of that. What I'm going to teach you today is how to hire more or less full-time virtual assistants that can do whatever you want them to do. Or you can hire them part-time too, but they're not project-based. Okay, so they just work with you. They're like your assistant, and then whatever you want to throw at them, they'll do it. Okay, or within the capacity, of course, or within the capacity that you're willing to train them. Okay, so so that's what we're talking about. Now, in the Philippines, they call themselves call center agents. So, so at any time, if I happen to refer to them as agents, I mean virtual assistants, okay? I don't mean like real estate agents. All right. Now, where can you find them? Where can you find these virtual assistants? I found my very first one through this website right here, va4u.com. Okay, when you go to va4u.com, you have virtual assistants all around the world. They post their resumes on there, and you look at the resume and you pick out who you want to interview and hire. Okay, so that's how I found my first one, and then grew from there. So I hired one, and then I got that one to find another one for me, and another one, another one. And so now we grew into a huge team of virtual assistants. Another place that you can find them is on Craigslist.org. And with Craigslist, like you can search for them in the U.S. or if you want to search in Philippines specifically, you can go to the Craigslist in the Philippines and post in the Philippines. Don't post in the U.S. because then you get way too many people responding. I like Philippines is because English is their primary business language. The entire school system is in English, and so they're used to English all of their lives. All of their road signs, storefront signs, everything is in English, and so that's why I choose Philippines. And also, the Philippines, they were colonized by the Americans for like 40 years since the 1900s. So 1900 to 1940 something, I guess. And so they have more. They understand the American culture more, and their accent is not as it's easier to understand than say India. India because India was colonized by the British. And so they have that British accent. So you combine the British accent with the with the Indian dialogue, and that's why it's so hard to understand them. And so that's the reason why I didn't choose India, even though India is very very popular for that. Okay, let me see what else here. Friendster.com is another. Friendster is like MySpace and Facebook here, but Friendster.com is very, very popular in the Philippines, in Asia in general, and so it'll be a great place that you can go to find virtual assistants. Okay, they hang out on Friendster quite a bit, and so you can go on there and you can place ads on there or search for virtual assistants. Search for call center agents. Okay, call center agents is the term that they use. And so if you're going to place an ad on those websites, then you might want to say that. Okay, call center agents. So the first three ways here is how you can find them yourself directly. The benefit to hiring them directly is that it's a lot less. It's a lot less expensive. Since you're going direct, and so that's the benefit to that. Now, the disadvantage to that is that they might have, not a good computer, or the internet connection might not be that good. And also too, because you are the one that's having to go out there and look for them, it's more work because you have to go out there hunting for these people. Looking, you are out there of having to find them and pre-screen them and interview them and all of that stuff. Hire them and train them. And so it's more work when you're doing this yourself, just like any do-it-yourself project. The other choice, now, okay, pricing. If you were to find them yourself, you're looking at paying them anywhere from probably, depending on what city they live in, okay, it's just like here in the U.S., right? If